More Real Madrid bashing now as we take a look at the front page of the newspapers. These are the Catalan newspapers. Miracle flick party. Says the front page of Mundo. Meanwhile,
you have come such a long way.
I know. I know, it's very By the way, the front pages of As and Marca today had Carlos Sainz in the F1, and it also had today's the day that Vinny is the Ballon d'Or.
Oh.
So they made very well indeed. Alex, let's start off with who's getting the blame for what happened on Saturday.
Yeah, there's plenty of blame, and it's being shared around. I think it's fair to say, you know, some fans pointing the finger at Ancelotti, his tactics, or the way the team was set up. Other people looking at the way the squad was constructed, so whether it's unbalanced and weaknesses in the squad, some positions that simply do not have enough strength. You look at the Real Madrid defence in the Clasico, it's hard to argue with. Danny Carvajal's out. You've got Lucas Vázquez at right back, who tries his hardest, does his best, but was left badly wanting for at least a couple of those goals on Saturday. So like I say, lots of blame to go around in terms of the coach, the tactics, the squad's individual performances. And I guess it's probably a little bit of all of those.
Mario, could you believe what we saw play out in that second half?
Yeah, because the first two goals was, for me, a big surprise. Why? Because, you know, when you look at how they conceded that quickly, you know, they had so many opportunities the first half because, you know, we talked about Mbappe being offside. One of the things that I was surprised by was why was he so many times offside? He's so fast. Nobody can keep up with him. Like, if I would play against him, clearly I would say, dude, you don't have to be offside because clearly if we're going to do a race, you're going to beat me in such a big margin. So stay online and just run when everybody runs, and then you will get the ball. That's one. And the second part was Militao. He goes tight and allows Lewandowski to be free. That's how they conceded the first goal. And then when you look at the second one, when the cross comes in, how happy would you be as a striker if you could float between your two center halves that are defending you? Lewandowski was standing, he was free. Militao was watching the ball, doesn't know he's in his back or where he was. So moments like that, I feel like in a big game like that, I expected a better defensive structure, and attacking wise, they had too many offsides for me. It was too much. This is not like, look, you can play a great game, and I know Barcelona turned up because the second half they turned up. I think the first half, Real we would have been talking a different kind of football right now if Real would have turned up and really came with the knife between their teeth and killed the game off. But they didn't, and that's why it turned out to be like this now.
Mario, what's it like when you're a defender, as Real Madrid had to experience in that second half, of just everything going wrong all around you? And even for Real Madrid, at 2-0 down, you thought, well, we've seen this before, they can come back here. But there was no resilience, there was no sign of a comeback, there was no collective leader on the pitch, and they suffered as a result. What's it like when all that is going on around you?
You know, when you play the game and you play a game of that level, right? And this has nothing to do that you never played the Barcelona Real Madrid level, but you have other derbies in your life you played. And what happens now is the almost moments. The almost moments, it's almost like when you play football and you come close to scoring but you don't score, it's almost like psychologically you think, I'm going to lose this game. I'm going to lose this game. And I think that creeps in, especially the second half, it started to creep in because you could see the Barcelona players, their confidence was going bigger and bigger. Look how Yamal, when he scored the goal, he pointed on the floor the way Ronaldo used to celebrate. I come here, I do it here, and I show you how it needs to be done. This kid is 17 years old, and he's that confident. You know, you're like, okay, I understand, this is football. Everybody should celebrate the way they want. But one of the things is that in Madrid, I don't think it's going to be a happy home for a little bit now. They got to really change things because they have the talent. Now they got beaten by a team.
That's a really good point, isn't it? You feel that the wounds from this defeat are deeper than any other loss that we've seen from Real Madrid over the last few years, Alex, because they've had that resilience to bounce back from bad results. But this time you just feel there's something different about it. There's, of course, reports, as inevitably they're going to be, about how there's discourse within the dressing room that looks so tight over the years that the introduction of Kylian Mbappe, of course, hasn't worked. And we kind of saw that, didn't we, in the second half, that there was no real leader on the pitch to try and sort everything out.
Yeah, and the thing with Real Madrid in terms of kind of proving themselves is that, of course, they're expected to win almost every other game. You've got to wait for another big game to come around to sort of be able to prove yourselves again, and that will be the next Clasico, the next Madrid derby, maybe one of these Champions League games against Liverpool, something like that might be a chance to do that. But otherwise, every week, Madrid win in La Liga, and it's expected, it's the norm. You're not really proving anything. But yeah, in terms of the team, it's a funny one because we're still waiting for this team to kind of come together and work out a shape that seems to suit all the players. You've got this system, the latest system, because they've tried a few already this season, where you've got Jude Bellingham out on the right-hand side, which seems somewhat of a waste of his talent. Of course, infamously he hasn't scored so far this season. He's playing physically further from goal and playing a different kind of role, but that's not helpful. You've got Mbappe playing through the middle, which in the past we'd always been told wasn't his preferred position, but that's where he is with Vinicius on the left. You've got the midfield, and I mentioned the defence, which isn't really working. Of course, you had Thibaut Courtois out, which doesn't help because Lunin is a solid backup, but he's not Thibaut Courtois. So yeah, there's so many factors here, and they couldn't find an answer. As you say, in that second half, the game just got further and further away from them, and there was no sign of one of these Real Madrid comebacks. Quite the opposite. So yes, it's a massive blow, and like I say, the difficult thing is it's hard to build that confidence back, because to do that, you really need some confidence-boosting wins, and for Real Madrid, that isn't just any win. Like I say, that's a big win in a big game, and they might have to wait a little while for that.